Hello and yes, welcome back to another video, guys. Now that's right, today we're back with my monthly movie watches. So yeah, today all the films I watched for the first time during April. And yeah, as I said before in these videos, guys, I'm only doing my first time watches. So like this month I have been rewatching a lot of things. Like I've for example been rewatching the James Bond films and stuff this month. But, you know, I've talked about these films in the past. I've seen them many, many times. So today, you know, I just like to come on here and talk about films which I watched throughout this month, which were first-time brand new watches for me. Now, I think I've got about 25 or so films here, so it was quite a busy month for me, considering at the start of the month, I was away on holiday. So, managed to come back and get quite a few films in. There's some new releases on here as well. There's some films which I have reviewed in depth here on the channel, like Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Fantastic Beasts. So yeah, the ones like that I'll go very quick on, because if if you guys want to know my opinion on them, there's a full detailed review out there of them. But anyway, let's get started. So I'm gonna just slide over here so that we can see the lovely movie posters as they come up. The first movie I'm going to talk about is one I actually missed off of last month's list. And a couple of people who had noticed I'd watched it, and they were like, "James, you forgot this one." I watched Stillwater, the 2020 Matt Damon movie. I think 2020 is correct. This is a really weird movie. I can't lie. When it came out, it sort of went under the radar. I sort of forgot that it had come out, and yeah, I was very kindly sent it as some lovely subscriber mail. So I thought, we got to watch it. We got to watch it. People going out their way to send me stuff. I have to watch it, and it's incredibly kind when people want to send me stuff. And I've got to say, I did quite enjoy this movie. Feels like a film of two halves. I definitely preferred the first half. Then they do a bit of a time jump. But, it was a very consistently good movie. I just, as I say, I think in terms of quality, I think the first half of the movie held up a lot better. I was a lot more interested in the plot. I'm not sure the time jump helped the movie too much, but, I don't know. It was a good movie. I don't have loads to say on it. Matt Damon was really good in it. I want to add that. And I really felt sorry for him at the end. I'm not sure if this one's based on a true story. I feel like it could be. But, yeah, the ending for this film was quite sad, actually. I enjoyed Stillwater. I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10. Then we have Superman 4, The Quest for Peace. This is the only one of the original 4 Superman films I'd never seen. And I have the 2006 one still to watch. I think it's 2006, I could be wrong. So I'm going to try and do that one this month. But Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, yeah, this one really... this put me off watching the other Superman film for a while, because wow, this was really, really bad, like hilariously bad. It reminded me a lot of Batman and Robin, where I was laughing out loud a few times. Like, for a start, the plot itself is diabolical. It's terrible. The villain sucks. The script is hilarious, like hilariously bad. All the shots of Superman, there's like shots of him flying through a tube station, and it's the same reused shot throughout the whole movie. It shows you how lazy they got with this one. I was really happy when it was over. It really reminded me a lot of Batman and Robin, where I pissed myself laughing throughout most of it. And to tell you the truth, if I sit down and watch this film properly and analyse it, this could be a bad movie review. Movie one day. So we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to give Superman for The Quest for Peace I'm going to give it a 2.5 out of 10. Then we have Godzilla 2, City on the Edge of Battle. I spoke about the first Godzilla Netflix animated movie last month, and I'll be speaking about 3 in literally 20 seconds after this, because I only watched 2 films between this and 3. And I have the same thing to say about all of them. The animation style is gorgeous, and I love Godzilla, and that's about it, because the concept of these 3 movies is brilliant, but it is executed so poorly. The idea behind these films is fantastic, but it is just so boring. The characters suck. There's barely any Godzilla action. There's barely any big monster kaiju action at all. They sort of tease Mothra in this one as well, and we really don't get to see her. It's just so dull. Like, they're so dull. I don't know how you managed to make a big Godzilla kaiju monster movie dull, because even the bad Godzilla films I've seen over the years now, they've always been entertaining. Even like Son of Godzilla and those really old cheesy ones, they're kind of bad, but there's a charm to them. These films just really, really don't hold up well. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Then we have Boiling Point, which is a British Netflix original film. Or, well, I don't think it's a Netflix, it went straight to Netflix here in the UK at least. And wow, this film was fantastic. It's all one tracking shot, I believe. Oh, no, I think it cuts us a couple times, sorry. No, I think I've got that wrong. But it is a one location movie, which I really, really loved. There's a lot of elements towards this movie which I think are fantastic. I think this is now my favourite kind of cooking movie. You know, like, I remember watching Burnt and enjoying that with Bradley Cooper, and Chef with Jon Favreau. Ratatouille's a fantastic one as well. But this might be my favourite cooking movie now. It shows you the stress of a high-end restaurant, and it really pushes the characters to their limits. And it was fantastic to watch. The acting was superb. The script was incredible. I really, truly loved more or less everything about this film. I thought this film was fantastic. I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Then we have The Bubble, which I was kind of looking forward to. This went straight to Netflix. It's starring Karen Gillan, Pedro Pascal, Keegan-Michael Key. There's a few other big people in it who are escaping me in a minute. But it had a great cast in the trailers. It looked like standard Netflix, but I was hoping it'd be a fun movie. I wasn't expecting this to blow me away by any means. I was just hoping for a fun time. And it was really kind of boring. So it's about a group who are making a movie, and COVID hits and they have to isolate, and the story just derails from there. It gets more and more, I don't want to say hard to follow, because it's really not hard to follow, but hard to keep up with, or hard to find enjoyment in it. The plot just continues to spiral, and I just didn't like the way it went. Barely any of the jokes landed. A lot of them were just full-on cringe, I'd say. And there's a few actors who I felt really bad for being in this movie. It was just like, why are you here? Why are you in this movie? I genuinely feel so sorry for you. Pedro Pascal was probably the only one giving a decent performance in this movie. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. Then we have Godzilla 3, The Planet Eater. And yeah, you know, same thing as the last two. Great concept. It's there. There's something cool to be done here, but the filmmakers do nothing with it. It's dull, it's boring, there's no Godzilla action again. The characters suck, there's no emotion to any of them, there's no emotional impact in anything that happens. It's boring. 3.5. I'm going to go a little bit low because this is the finale. Expect this one to be a bit more interesting. Then we have Sonic the Hedgehog 2. Now, I reviewed this one here in detail on the channel. So yeah, if you like the first Sonic film, you're probably going to like this. If you didn't like the first Sonic film, you're probably not going to like this. And that's the simplest way I could put this movie. There's a lot of great aspects to it, and there's a lot of weak moments to it. The great stuff, seeing Sonic, Tails and Knuckles and Robotnik all sharing screen time together, it's great. I watched the Disney show Sonic XD or something like that. Sonic X maybe. I can't remember. I think someone even pointed this out in my comment section. So, for me, it's great seeing them, and I can't wait for the next one. Hopefully, we'll be able to see characters like Shadow, Big, trying to think of some of the other ones. I can't really remember now. There's a crocodile guy. There was Batgirl Rose or something like that. So loads of, you know, and Amy and Peach and stuff. So I'm hoping the next one we get all those other characters in there. But all that stuff was great. When they were on screen sharing time together, it was fantastic. My favourite scene is at the end, when you have Sonic, Tails and Knuckles just chatting. There's a scene where they're just talking, playing baseball. My favourite scene. It was so great. But there are a lot of side plots in this one which don't work. There's this whole bit where we go away for half an hour in the movie to a wedding, and it's kind of bad. The dialogue is terrible. The acting isn't great. And there's a lot of side characters come back in this one, like Robotnik's partner, who brings nothing to the table. So, there's a lot of good stuff about this one, but then there's a lot of filler in this movie, I think, as well. I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. Then we have Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, like I said in my review, this film might weaken for me the more I think about it, and I have thought about it a lot, and it probably has weakened a bit for me. It's not a bad film, this one. Again, it needed to be trimmed down like 20 minutes. I don't know why they keep making these Fantastic Beasts films so long, because the last one was the same. It needed to be trimmed down, and this one is also screaming desperately to be trimmed down. So, yeah, it's very stretched out, very boring at times. And the most insulting thing about this movie is a lot of the cool magic that the Harry Potter films had is it's slowly being drained out this universe. The first Fantastic Beasts got pretty close to capturing it. And then the second and now this one, it's being drained away. It really is. And it is such a shame. I'll give this film a 6 out of 10. Then we have Resident Evil Apocalypse, the second Resident Evil film. Yeah, it's weird. I started off not caring about this movie. When I put it on, I was bored. I was like, yeah, this is what it is. And then it actually got a bit better near the end. It actually got a bit better. I ended up enjoying some of it. You know, I know what I'm watching here. I'm watching some cheesy video game movie with over-the-top zombies. There were bits I found entertaining, the action scenes, and then there were bits which I wasn't too keen on. I still don't like seeing zombie dogs. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because I just love... I'm such a huge dog lover that it upsets me. But yeah, I'll give this film a 5.5 out of 10. It's, you know, it's alright. It was what it was. Then we have Moonfall. Now, I thought this film might be okay. I like disaster films, and I noticed a few people in the BlueTube community seem to say that it was alright. I thought this film was bloody awful. Absolutely terrible. It is such a conflict of genre. It has a serious identity crisis multiple times. It's a disaster film, then it's an action film, then it's an alien invasion movie, and oh my goodness. There was so much happening. I didn't care about any of the characters. The guy from Game of Thrones who's in it, the tubby guy, he was awful in this movie. Awful. Patrick Wilson. Oh man, I feel so bad for him. He's such a great actor, and just I don't know what he was doing in this movie. Yeah, it's so pathetically stupid as well. Like, the moon bounces off the earth and everyone's still alive, and it's like, what the hell? What? I didn't know what I was watching. This film was garbage, like total garbage. I couldn't get past how stupid it was, and I know some people are going to go switch off entertainment. Honestly, I switched off and it was just boring as well, I thought. It's just, there was barely anything to like about this one. The funniest thing is at the end they kill off a character, quote, kill them off. And it wasn't sad at all. It was like, oh, actually, I'm kind of glad he's going. He was annoying me. And then it turns out this character doesn't die, and it's like, oh, cliffhanger for a sequel. It's like, you're not getting a sequel. No way. I'll give this film a 1.5 out of 10. It is truly awful. Truly awful. Then we have Another Round, which was very kindly sent to me a while back as subscriber mail, starring Mads Mikkelsen. And it is, I want to say it's a Swedish movie, but I'm not 100% sure off the top of my head. But I'm going to say Swedish because I'm confident that's what it probably, I think it is. And yeah, this is now my favourite film from 2020. The Gentleman has been dethroned. I freaking loved this movie. So it's just about 4 guys who decide that becoming alcoholics is making their life better. They're working better. They're being better husbands for a while and stuff, you know. There's a small portion there where everything's going really well, so they just keep drinking and keep drinking. And the film spirals. And it's a fantastic story. And it was just so great to watch this plot unwind. And I was so fascinated with where each character was going to end up. And it was a truly brilliant movie. I'm going to give this film a 9.5 out of 10. It was fantastic. I really loved it. Then we have The In-Between. the new Joey King Netflix movie. Pretty sure it was Netflix. Was it Prime? Can't remember whether it was Prime or Netflix now. I think it was Netflix. I really like Joey King as an actress, so it's a shame that she keeps doing these straight to streaming pieces of shit, because this is not great again. This is not great, you know. After the Kissing Booth films, this is what she's moving on to, and yeah, again, a bit of a identity crisis, I think, with this movie. It's a love story, then it's a paranormal type film, and then it turns into some weird thing at the end. I don't know. The plot is kind of interesting, I guess. You know, her and her boyfriend, but they haven't been together for very long, but he dies, and then he's coming to see her as a ghost, and it's like, I don't know. I didn't really buy the relationship loads because they weren't together for long anyway. I don't know, I just couldn't get behind this movie. I thought the script was pretty bad, the acting for the most part wasn't great, and it's just too long. It's like 2 hours, and again, nothing really happens for a solid half hour of this movie. Yeah, I'll give this film a 3.5 out of 10. Then we have Why Him. Now, I know Why Him, this is going to be a controversial one to talk about because it stars Mr. James Franco, who is in no one's good books anymore, for very good reasons, you know. What he did was not good at all. So, yeah, it's hard to talk about the man now. But, you know, this film exists, and I did watch it. I watched it because I was watching a film one night, and, you know, like, when you put your Blu-ray in before you put it in, you see, or, well, sorry, no, you get the trailers for other movies and stuff before you start the film. I saw a trailer for this, and I thought, that actually looks kind of funny. I like the actress Zoe Dutch, something like that. And Bryan Cranston's fantastic. So, and, you know, admittedly, I do find James Franco funny. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to give this a go. It's on Disney+. And, yeah, I laughed quite a few times. It actually did catch me off guard. I mean, it wasn't a great movie. Don't get me wrong. It didn't really do anything amazing. I've seen this story before with Meet the Parents, which is a much better movie. But, yeah, I did laugh out loud a few times, which is all I wanted from this movie, to be honest. So it done its job. Goes a little bit over the top at times, but, you know, hey, it's a comedy. It made me laugh. So, yeah, I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. Then I watched Her. So, of course, this film starring Mr. Joaquin Phoenix. And, me and Joaquin Phoenix have a very strange relationship. I thought Joker was quite overrated. I watched another one last month with him in, with Philip Seymour Hoffman. I've already forgotten the name of it. And I wasn't very big on that one. And what else have I seen with him in? Oh, God, I can't even remember now. I've seen a few things with him in, but nothing has particularly blown me away like it blows everyone else away. It seems like Joaquin Phoenix in a movie and everyone's like, oh my God, this is like the best movie ever. And I have yet to really experience that with any of his movies. While I like them, I haven't gone crazy for any of them. Until now. Her was fantastic. Easily the best Joaquin Phoenix movie I've seen. He was incredible in this. This is the best performance he's given as well. Not Joker. Sorry, he was better in this. And I love the surrounding cast as well. And I want to say, Scarlett Johansson gives one of the best voice performances ever, which is so weird because you'd expect people to say like an animated movie, but here she, you know, she does such a great job. All of the side actors do a fantastic job as well. Chris Pratt's in this. He pops up every now and then. And I'm like, this is so weird seeing you in this type of movie. But the score was great. The cinematography was beautiful. I loved this film. I thought this was fantastic. I'm going to give this film a 9 out of 10. Then I saw The Northman in cinema. Spoke about this one. I've reviewed it. Robert Eggers' new movie. I really liked The Witch and The Lighthouse. They're both like 8 and above out of 10 for me. I love them both. I was really excited to see this one because I hadn't seen no trailers for it, but I heard it was a bit more action-packed. And that's exactly what it was. And I think he stepped into this role brilliantly as a director because, as I said in my review, you get some directors like Chloe Zhao, who done Nomadland, which was fantastic, but then she upped it to a bigger budget Marvel film in Eternals, and that just wasn't as good. So I do think that some directors do struggle making that jump, and this is a big jump for Robert Eggers, but he pulled it off so brilliantly. there really isn't anything I dislike about this film. I think the pacing is brilliant. I wouldn't trim it down at all. I know some people have said they found certain bits slow. I disagree. I thought it was perfect. I think the acting all round is incredible from everyone. The story is intense. It is simple. At the end of the day, it is a revenge story, but it is so intense, so well done. The score is brilliant, and the cinematography and the locations they use with it and the lighting, it's all gorgeous. I freaking love this movie. 9.5 out of 10. Then we have The Outfit, which is another new 2022 release, starring Zoe Dutch again, and the guy who's been in like Spielberg's last few films. He played the BFG. He was in what other one was he in with him? Bridge of Spies. And then he was also in Dunkirk. I can't think of the actor's name off the top of my head. But yeah, and Dylan O'Brien, I think his name is also in this movie from the Maze Runner films. Yeah, I really was into this film about, you know, I forget what they are, somewhere in America, Boston, I think, maybe, somewhere like that. Back in the, I want to say 20s, 30s, and he's a I forget what they call it, a cutter. Yeah, who makes suits for people. And he gets sort of caught up in this gang thing that's happening, and it's all in one location, and it's all in his shop, and it's brilliant. He gets caught up in it all. And I was really into the movie. I was really invested for the first 2 acts. I thought it was going really well. It was a surprise to me. I was like, wow, why is no one talking about this movie? I'm really enjoying this. And then I just feel like the third act maybe bottled it a little bit. I feel like it done a few things which are a little bit too over the top, and like made it look like everything that happened in the movie happened for a reason. It's like, this feels a little bit far-fetched now. So, yeah, I feel like The Outfit maybe lost it a little bit near the end. But up till then, it was a good time. I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. Okay, then we have what is, without a doubt, the worst film I've seen this year. And the worst film on the list today. And that is The Legend of La Llorona. Now, I had I got this a bit wrong. I thought this was part of the Conjuring universe, because I know that The Curse, the first one, is part of the Conjuring universe. I know some people say it's not, but you full on see Annabelle in it. So in my mind, that is part of the Conjuring universe. This one, I thought this was a sequel to The Curse of La Llorona, but apparently it's not. This is The Legend of La Llorona. It's straight to DVD, apparently. I didn't know that. This film fucking sucks. It is without a doubt one of the worst movies I've ever seen. The acting's bad. The script is bad. The directing is terrible. I didn't jump once, and these films normally scare the shit out of me. La Llorona herself, I've seen people go out on Halloween looking scarier than her. It was hilarious. Every time she showed up, she looked like a Scooby-Doo villain. She was like floating out some mist. Embarrassing movie. Absolutely awful. I'm going to give this film a 0.5 out of 10. I think that's the lowest rating I've ever given out to a movie, but this film was so bad. Then we have a new A24 film with X, and this was a fantastic surprise. I had a feeling I'd like this, but I didn't think I'd like it as much as I did. So this is set in 1979, I think, 1979, and it's about this group of kids, well, early 20s, by the looks of it, who go off to the countryside or on this big farm, and they're making a porno. They're making an adult film. They think they're making something incredible, but they're making a porno. And down the street, or down the same road, is another house with a crazy old couple in. And it's A24, so there's some horror elements to this, and things start to happen. And it is so good. It is so good. First off, the music. I love the 70s, you know, my favourite decade for music, probably. So there's a lot of great music and a lot of great, like, costumes and stuff. And the setting is great. And I think that the director done such a fantastic job with this one. Like, the cinematography is gorgeous. The score's great. Yeah, really, really solid film. I'm going to give this film an 8.5 out of 10. And we have King Kong Lives. Just trying to get through all the Kong films. I think this is the last live-action Kong film I had to do. So, yeah. King Kong Lives. This film was actually okay. I noticed that King Kong sequels seem to get a lot of hate. You know, Son of Kong from 1933 and now this one. But I much preferred both of them to King Kong Escapes by a country mile. That's easily the worst King Kong film I've seen. Yeah, this was actually kind of good. The monkeys looked great because King Kong's got a girlfriend in this. And, you know, after they done the classic sending King Kong up a big tall building, shooting him down at the end of the last one, I suppose they picked this up the best they could. The acting weren't great, the dialogue weren't great, and yeah, you know, they could have done more with this movie probably, but, you know, for what it is, it's alright. It is what it is. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Then we have Apollo 10.5, A Space Age Adventure. This film's kind of crazy. This is on Netflix, and if you haven't seen it, go watch it. The style of it really reminded me of A Scanner Darkly from 2006. And it's crazy. I was listening to it, and I was like, that sounds like Jack Black. I was like, I don't think, surely Jack Black isn't doing this. He don't do much nowadays. Feel like he'd promote it a bit. And it was like, oh no, it is Jack Black. Something about that man's voice, which is just incredible. This film's fantastic. I absolutely adored the story, which I won't give away because it's obviously based on, you know, the real life events of the moon landing and stuff. So, but yeah, it's just fantastic. My favourite parts of this movie, actually, when it was just him hanging out with his friends and his sisters or his brothers or whatever. Not actually the space stuff, which I thought says a lot for the movie. I really like this movie. If you haven't checked it out on Netflix, please go do it. It's really good. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Then we have got Play Misty For Me, another Clint Eastwood film. I'm slowly making my way through my Clint Eastwood set. Play Misty For Me was really actually quite interesting. Clint Eastwood plays a radio presenter who's kind of beloved in his local town, and an obsessed fan gets onto him. And he sort of falls in love with her, has a little relationship with her, but then realises that she's a bit mental. So he calls it off and she does not leave him alone. And it's really, really interesting. The actress, though, every now and then she lets out a scream and it comes out of nowhere. And they dial the scream up on the volume. And it is so loud, it will blow your eardrums. So be warned of that if you're going to watch the movie. But yeah, it was good. It didn't blow my mind or anything. But yeah, I found it quite interesting. Although there's a weird segment in it. Like at the end of the second act, start of the third act. Where there's like a concert for 10 minutes. And it really pulled me out of the movie. And then it sort of just chucks you back in. So I'm not sure what that was about. But yeah, I'm going to give this film a 7 out of 10. Then we have The Lost City. I got to go see this in cinema. I didn't get a chance to review this one. But yeah, I saw The Lost City. Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock, Daniel Radcliffe, and Brad Pitt's new film. What a great cast there. And, you know, they all do a good job. I know some people have been saying, like, Daniel Radcliffe was a bit wooden in it. But, I don't know. I think the thing with Daniel Radcliffe is he's so charming and likeable. It's just hard for him to play a villain in general. Same sort of problem I had with him in Now You See Me Too. But the film itself, for what it is, it's sort of this year's Jumanji or Jungle Cruise, where it's like, they're just alright fun adventure films. And it is on that level, but it made me laugh a few times. Channing Tatum is a funny guy. Brad Pitt's scenes crack me up as well. There's a lot of interesting elements to this film. It's entertaining. Made me laugh. It's a good time in the cinema. Yeah, it is what it is, but it's fun. I'm going to give it a 6.5 out of 10. Then we have Paddington 2. So, next film up I'm going to be talking about after this is The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. And I knew that there was a Paddington sketch in there. And I was like, I'm going to watch Paddington 2 in preparation. Because I know that they do something with that movie in this. And I want to sort of understand it. So, watch Paddington 2. And yeah, it's so charming. I'm gutted that it took me this long to watch it. Because I saw the first one years ago. So, finally got around to watching it. It's so charming. And I love the director. He has a very kind of toned down Wes Anderson style about him, which I loved. I thought the script was just charming. All the actors were so good. It was just a really heartwarming, charming movie. I think Paddington 2 was a really good time. I'm going to give it a 8.5 out of 10. Then we have The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I have reviewed in detail. Yeah, I feel like it was a bit of a slow burn to get started, but once it got rolling, once Pedro Pascal's character come into it, the film really moved well for me. Nicolas Cage is so funny in this, so is Pedro Pascal. I think Pedro actually steals all of the scenes in this, which I'm really happy about, because after The Bubble, he needed a good movie. Everyone else is great in this as well. I love the plot. I think it's great. It's wacky and weird, this movie. It's one of the best comedies we've had in years. If you haven't seen it, go see it. It's such a fun time. 8 out of 10 for me on this one. Then we have Morbius, which I've also reviewed here in detail on the channel. Yep, it stinks. It's really bad. Like, it's boring, and then there are some scenes which are just laughable. I don't really have anything good to say about this. I just feel so bad for Matt Smith being in this movie. I'm going to give it 2 out of 10. And we have Ambulance, Michael Bay's new movie, which I didn't get round to reviewing in detail either here on the channel. Yeah, it's lots of cuts, lots of fast-paced editing, lots of explosions, over-the-top action, hot girls, and American flags every now and then. It is just standard Michael Bay movie. I kind of respect some aspects about this. Like, I watched a little making-of video on the movie after I watched the film itself. And you can see, like, them doing some incredible shots on a bridge where the camera's actually hanging off the bridge. And it's like, you can tell there is a lot of effort that they've gone through with certain aspects of this movie. Like, the filmmaking itself is impressive. But it's just Michael Bay's style. It drives me sick. His cringeworthy, inappropriate humour, which is just, oh, it's vile at times. I just do not like his sense of humour. It's just so... It's constant, and every character in this movie apparently has the same sense of humour. They're all saying the same stupid shit. Yeah, it's just the action very over the top. There are some bits which just aren't believable. I have respect for it from the filmmaking standpoint, but just would have been better under a different director, I think. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And the last film up I have to talk about is Quadrophenia, which was very kindly sent to me by Scott, and Quadrophenia was fantastic. I'm so upset that it's taken me this long to watch it, because I love The Who's album, Quadrophenia, and I have, when I used to listen to music a lot more, I have sat there and studied that album, so I had a kind of a vague idea of where the plot of the movie was going to go. But wow, I love the way this film develops. I remember my dad talking about like the mods and the rockers and stuff when he was younger, seeing them about and stuff, and it's cool to see a movie on them finally, because, you know, I'd like to see a gang today be as hard as them. Like, people today walk the streets in London with their hoodies up and their baggy trousers. I'd be much more scared of these mods and rockers, I think, after this movie. Like, what they do in the Brighton scene is crazy, and it's really cool, actually, because Kermit's Ghost, who I was very lucky to get to meet up with on the weekend, I remember him saying in one of his videos when he was walking about in Brighton, saying, oh, that's where they filmed the fight scene in Quadrophenia, so that was really cool. But the film itself, yeah, it's great. I thought it was really well paced. I thought the story was fantastic. It's so interesting how you start off with this kid who you kind of feel sorry for. You want him to kind of fit in with his group a bit more. You want him to get the girl. You want him to have his awesome time with his mods. And then as the movie progresses, you really start to dislike him. And the last act of the movie, I hated this kid. I did not like him. So the movie is great like that. I'm going to give it an 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was fantastic. Now, we just got to pick a movie of the month. There's a couple that definitely spring into mind, but I know which movie I'm going to go with. The best movie I watched this month, in my opinion, for the first time, was Another Round. This film was just fantastic. It's the one I keep thinking about. Like, as the month goes on, it's the film that I keep going back to and thinking about a lot. It's the one I want to watch again the most. It was just so good. Mads Mikkelsen gives such a great performance in this. As I say, if you haven't seen it, go watch it. There is a Blu-ray out there of it, as I say. So yeah, make sure you check this movie out, because it is fantastic. But there we go. There's all the films that I watched throughout April. Yeah, April 2022. Let me know in the comments below if you watched any and what you think of any of the movies I've spoken about today. But anyway, there we go. That's it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed as always. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, leave a message. And as always, I'll see you next time for another video. Bye-bye.